Many of us get up in the morning, get ready for school or work, hop into whatever vehicle we're driving or riding in, and never think twice about that vehicle. Coming up, you'll discover 20 vehicles so bizarre, they'll leave you an appreciation of the normal vehicle you ride in every day. I'm Greg from Be Amazed, and here are the top 20 most bizarre vehicles of all time. Number 20. ZIL 2906. This bizarre-looking screw-driven amphibious craft is a Russian vehicle that was originally designed to recover re-entered space capsules. Russian manufacturer ZIL designed two vehicles for the mission, the 2906 and the 4906. The smaller 2906 would ride on the back of the 4906 until the terrain became too much. Then the 2906 would be deployed, and the recovery mission would continue. On land, it travels up to 16 kilometers, or about 10 miles per hour. In the swamp, it cranks that up to a whopping 20 kilometers, or about 12 miles per hour. In the snow, however, is where it really shines, traveling up to 45 kilometers, or roughly 28 miles per hour. Number 19. The Caspian Sea Monster. Aside from the look and method of flight of this vehicle, the way it got its name is almost as bizarre. In the 1960s, American spy satellites were picking up a strange aircraft being tested in Russia. Members of the CIA incorrectly translated the words on the fuselage of the aircraft as Caspian Monster, though the words actually meant Korabl Market or prototype ship in Russian. The Caspian Sea Monster was an experimental ground effect vehicle that technically flew, but stayed very close to the surface, so it could rely on ground effect. To make this as efficient as possible, the aircraft was designed and built to be huge, the largest aircraft on the planet, until the An-225 took to the skies. Number 18. VZ-9 Avrocar. During the Cold War, militaries across the globe were constantly developing new and sometimes bizarre crafts, including the US military. In a joint effort between the US and Canada, the VZ-9 Avrocar was created. This flying saucer lookalike was designed to be a fighter aircraft, capable of extremely high speeds and altitudes. In fact, the US military had plans to make these into a sort of flying jeep fleet. After years of repeated failures in the thrust and stability systems of the VZ-9, however, the project was cancelled. Number 17. Firebird XP-21. When the term Firebird is invoked, many people think of the muscle car that hit the market in 1967. That vehicle, however, was a long shot from the original Firebird, the XP-21. This 370 horsepower fighter jet-inspired, turbine-powered rocket car looked like it belonged in space rather than on land. The original concepts on this vehicle later inspired a British version that would go on to break the world land speed record and become the first land vehicle to officially break the sound barrier. The Thrust SSC. Using many of the same ideas and concepts from the 1950s, the Thrust SSC is like the XP-21, except much larger and much more powerful grandson. Number 16. The Big Banana Car. What's as big as a Ford pickup? As yellow as a perfectly ripe banana? And the answer to the question, what sort of car would the most ridiculous man in the world drive? The Big Banana Car. The owner and designer, Steve Braithwaite, asked himself that very question and came up with that very answer. So, he took a perfectly good 1993 Ford F-150 4x4 pickup and turned it into a driving banana that still has four-wheel drive. Steve says the vehicle got him closer to his long-held desire to be the most ridiculous man in the world. Number 15. The BMW Jetta concept car. This shape-shifting beamer is more than just a design idea. It completely changes the way designers can think about designing vehicles. Jetta comes with a fabric shell, rather than the typical plastic, aluminum, and steel. The fabric allows the vehicle to change its appearance and shape, as it does simple things like open the door, ready the headrest, or open the hood. Hey, BMW, is that supposed to look like a woman's... Oh, never mind. Number 14. The Column Caravan. Designer Christian Susanna designed a vehicle that may not get many points for eye appeal, but will definitely perk the ears of those wishing to live a more mobile life. Christian says the name Column is an acronym for Colors of Life in Motion. Called a lifestyle motorhome, it features a living area designed for 2 to 4 people with individually applicable multi-function modules. But the best part about this lifestyle motorhome is the fact that the front driving part of the caravan attaches, leaving the living area behind, while offering a fuel-efficient vehicle to travel around locally. Number 13. Himiko Water Bus. Looking like something straight out of Star Trek, the Himiko Water Bus, or Water Taxi, features many modern amenities, as well as incredible views through its many windows. The eye-catching watercraft was designed by well-known artist Leiji Matsumoto and is used to transport people around Tokyo while giving them an extraordinary view. Number 12. Lepidodgera. If you see this van cruising about, you may be tempted to cruise in the opposite direction. But the Lepidodgera van's lead engineer, Mike Thielvolt, says there's nothing to fear. The 37-foot-tall steel butterfly that sits atop of the van can be intimidating until you learn that the 6,000-square-foot winged creature lights up brilliantly at night. Best of all, it's powered using an onboard gasifier that converts biomass into usable fuel for the Dodge van's engine. Number 11. Cricket Bat Car. An Indian gentleman decided he was going to go a bit batty regarding the Cricket World Cup and created what appears to be the world's only cricket bat car. The 5-wheeled automobile ran on a 135cc engine, weighed about 300 kilograms, or roughly 665 pounds, had a top speed of 60 kilometers, or about 37 miles per hour. Number 10. Namuth Parasol. This relic from the 1930s was built by students at Miami University. While it's hard not to make the flying saucer correlation, the Namuth Parasol demonstrated to the world that even a circular wing could be used on a plane with success. In fact, one newspaper said the parachute plane was ideal for landing your backyard, and when you're done exploring the skies, you could store the plane in a hangar about the size of a large garage. Unfortunately, the plane's low aspect ratio wing created too much drag, and the plane was scrapped because it was not fuel efficient or economical enough. Number 9. The world's longest limousine. At more than 30 meters or roughly 100 feet long, this limousine is the definition of stretched. As if a heated jacuzzi, a sun deck, a swimming pool, and a few beds weren't enough, this condo on wheels also features its own helipad. Of course, if you can't afford to buy a stretched limousine, you can also opt to build your own, or not. Number 8. The Wienermobile. You may have seen this bizarre vehicle wandering around the US. There are currently 8 Wienermobiles cruising around the highways. The first Wienermobile was built in 1936, and there have been 11 since then. An interesting note about the Wienermobile, only college students who are about to graduate are eligible to drive it. The hot doggers are chosen out of a pool of about 2,000 eligible candidates each year. And for those of you wanting to take the Wienermobile on water, there's the hot dog boat. Number 7. Bigfoot. Our next bizarre vehicle is more of a household name than many of the oddities on this list. While Bigfoot's creator Bob Chandler made his first public appearance with the 4-wheeled giant in 1979, new versions of the monster truck seem to come out almost annually. At least 3 variations of the Bigfoot have garnered world records for their amazing feats. In 2009, Bigfoot was named one of the top 5 marketing vehicles of all time, an honor shared by the US Navy Blue Angels and US Air Force Thunderbirds. Number 6. Lockheed Martin P-791. Probably responsible for countless UFO sightings, the Lockheed Martin P-791 looks more like a giant bath toy than it does a vehicle. The goal of the P-791 was to have an aircraft that features the speed of an airplane and the buoyancy of an airship, or blimp. Lockheed Martin is sticking by this idea and continuing to make this aircraft for anyone that'll buy it. They say the P-791 can stay afloat at 20,000 feet for up to 3 weeks without the need for refueling. Number 5. The Cosmic Muffin. This bizarre vehicle looks more like a prophylactic from the outside than it does a watercraft. But the story behind the Cosmic Muffin is where the goods are. In 1969, Howard Hughes' famous Boeing B-307, also known as Hughes Flying Office, was deemed unflyable. Shortly thereafter, a Fort Lauderdale realtor and pilot, Kenneth W. London, rescued it from the landfill and spent the next 4 years transforming it into an exotic houseboat. A view from the inside is nothing like the awkward view from the outside. Number 4. BMW 4219 Eli. This bizarre racing machine may be the ultimate land vehicle of its time. The BMW 4219 Eli boasts 42 wheels, which of course also means 42-wheel drive, 19 Porsche engines, each producing 459 horsepower, which amounts to roughly 8,700 combined horsepower, and only 1 transmission. This ultimate beamer also features what they call a toy trunk that BMW says is full of toys, and you can play in it. Number 3. Convertible Fat Car. If the sleek lines and incredible contouring of modern vehicles just aren't your thing, the plump and bizarre convertible fat car may be for you. While many sculptors are focused more on remodeling and removing volume in order to shape a piece, Austrian sculptor Erwin Wurm focuses much of his art more on adding volume and plumping things up. That can be seen in many of his works, including the Fat Car, which was built around a Porsche. Worm says this bizarre vehicle probes the link between power, wealth, and body weight. I say, it's just another ugly reminder of the diet I was supposed to start months ago. Number 2, Alexander Lippish's Aerodyne. Almost a blend between a cartoon and concept plane from the future, Alexander Lippish's Aerodyne will go down in history as one of the most bizarre vehicles in the world. Understanding how this thing could even get off the ground requires a stretch of the imagination, considering it's bulky, wingless, and has a head that's twice the girth of its tail. The idea was that a single flow channel would create enough thrust and lift to keep the vehicle airborne. While early versions of this aircraft were built with a cockpit, the test versions that actually flew were unmanned. Number 1. Igor Sobolevsky's concept vehicle. We've saved the biggest, baddest, and most bizarre vehicle for last. This is Igor Sobolevsky's concept vehicle. A mix between functionality, power, and just all-out girth, this vehicle can be found in the imaginations of boys and men all over the world. The concept vehicle is loosely inspired by vehicles similar to the Russian Kamaz Typhoon. While Russia still uses the multifunctional, modular, armored, mine-resistant Kamaz Typhoon, Igor's concept vehicle is quite away from mass production. Still, the image of such a large and foreboding vehicle is a testament to how far we've come and how far we're going in the design and functionality of our vehicles.